Everybody, this is Chad Ehrlich with Nobody Else's Auto. We've got over 1,100 classic and antique cars in our salvage yard. We've got restored cars, signage, all kinds of really cool gearhead stuff. I've been doing this my whole life. If you've been here before at our new show called Nobody Show, thanks for coming back. Glad to see you again. If you're new, don't miss it. We're going to talk about gearhead stuff and everything that gearheads love. We're going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. Let's jump into the show and see what we got this week. Hey everybody, this is Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. Getting ready to shoot another episode of Nobody's Show. Today, we're out here at my salvage yard. We've got about 1,100 classic and antique cars. We'll do a quick walk around and look at a few things here real quick. Behind me, we've got our F-body section of Firebirds and Camaros. As we're cutting through here, we've got some 40s and 50s GM era stuff. Right here in this section, all cars, Chevy, Buick, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile. Coming up here to this section, we've got a bunch of GM trucks. Lots of Chevys and GMCs, lots of 40s, 50s, 60s era stuff. Over here to this side, we've got our A-body GM stuff, Chevelle, Le Mans, Skylark, and Cutlass stuff. As we're doing a quick walkthrough, over here on this side, we've got some 60s and 70s era GM full-size cars. And coming up here on the right again, we get into some international trucks. And we've got a few Studebakers and a Nash right here on the front. Next to that over there, we've got some Ford pickups and some Ford cars over there. And then over here onto this side, we've got our Mopar section, which goes a couple of sections back. We've got a ton of stuff here. So, where do we start? The only place I know of is let's start at the beginning. I guess this is where you could say it all started. The 1958 Buick Special. Back in the late 70s, my grandpa, Glenn Ehrlich, was looking for an old car to mess with. My dad, Steve, was working at the local Buick dealership, and they had a 58 Buick Super similar to this that somebody traded in that was wrecked. So they bought that car, and my dad helped my grandpa fix it up, and this was one of the parts cars they had bought when they fixed that car. A few years later, my grandpa sold that car to my dad, and he actually still owns that car to this day. After my dad bought that car, it was fixed, it was done. So my grandpa was getting rid of some stuff, and this was one of the cars that he still had sitting there. And he asked if I wanted to buy it. So I bought this car and started selling a few parts off of it when I was about 8 years old. So this literally, I guess, would be numero uno. This was the first one. This was one that started the whole problem. I guess that's kind of what it turned into, an addiction, whatever you want to call it. That's what happened. But this is where it started. This was the first one that I ever bought, and that's what led to this. So that's where it all started. Now, obviously, we've got hundreds and hundreds of cars out here. They're everywhere. If you see something you want us to talk about, because hey, some of these cars have their own unique stories, where they came from and how they got here. Let us know. We can maybe get a couple cars squeezed into every episode, let you know the stories behind them. So, glad you're here. Thanks for watching. And remember, nobody's nobody but me. And look at this view here.